Please say 3 times together. Sadhu,
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 sadhu.
Once again, let me wish everyone a very happy spiritual evening. So today is 8th July, and July already started. That means you have only another 5 months and 3 weeks to practice. So we don't know what will happen in the future. So anything can happen, and sometimes we can miss 1 or 2 weeks too. So whatever it is, so we have to be satisfied with what we have. And currently what we do have, with that, we have to gain the maximum benefit out of it. So be happy. Today, you are here to practice. So always do not compare. So do not compare your experience. So do not compare the other's experience with yourself. Always be you, and so accept wholeheartedly you as yourself, and accept your practice as your practice, and work ardently. So as I already mentioned, please don't let the others know about your experiences, right? So sometimes, so earlier too, I warned that sometimes if you mention certain good experiences that you had, then to the others, then the others will start to crave for that very pleasing experience. Then their meditation won't go well, because human nature is craving. Then, so if you let them know about one of your bad experiences, then what will happen? They'll get afraid. Then what will happen? They'll think that they will have to experience the same. So ahead of time, they'll get afraid and they won't be able to practice well. So there are these both possibilities too. So accept yourself. Small story. So since I teach you, most of the times with story, I'm addicted to tell story. Many people get addicted to various kinds of other stuff. I'm addicted to tell stories. Right. Once there was a mouse, and it thought of this. So this is a European folk tale. So this mouse thought that it wants to be the most powerful person in the world, right? Then what it did, it went to the god and prayed, asked the god, so to make the most powerful, make it the most powerful person in the world. So the god asked, what do you want to be? According to the mouse, the most powerful person in the world, being in the world, the cat. So it wanted to become a cat. So the god transfer the rat into a cat. Now no more rat, no more mouse. There is a cat. Right. So then when the cat was traveling, so it made dogs. Then because of the cat, it felt so the dog barked at the cat, and the cat was afraid. So the cat went again to the god and asked the god, all right, I don't want to be a cat anymore. Please make me a dog, right? Then so he made it a dog, right? Then after that,
Hello?
Right. Then after that,
Hello? Hello?
Excuse me, Bhante, I just muted everybody and I will unmute you. Excuse me, Bhante, you will have to unmute yourself. Hello, Bhante, please unmute yourself.
Okay.
yeah, right.
Everyone else, please do not talk.
All right. So then the dog had a master. So the dog had a master, and the master was afraid of his wife, right? So then after that, he asked to transfer it to a wife. Then the god transferred, according to the story. He transferred it into a wife. Then one day this wife was so wandering around the house, and at once what happened? A rat jumped into her body. Then you know what happened. So she shouted, and she was so afraid. She ran away out of the house. Then he thought, oh, in this whole world, the most powerful person is the rat. So once again, he went to the god and asked, prayed again, asked the god again to make it a rat. So you might imitate various kinds of other people. You can gain advice from them. You can gain teachings from them. But finally, you are who you are. So your practice is your practice. So please focus on your practice. So whatever the good knowledge that you can gain from the others, please gain that. But when you practice, it should be your practice. So you can't be anybody else, and the others cannot be you. So practice ardently for your own benefit, for your own peace, and for your own happiness, right? Please practice very ardently. And so gradually you are improving. And now I think you might feel that the negativities that you had before you started this meditation program, you might think, right, now you have improved a lot. So most of the anger that you had earlier, it has gone a lot in a bigger context. The jealousy, the ill will, all kinds of such kind of negativities that you had, they might have gone in bigger quantities. But still, there are so many other things remaining. So what you need to do is
Oh, excuse me, Bhante, I had to remove people from the meeting.
yes.
So would you unmute yourself?
Yeah,
Good.
behaving well, then please remove it. That's fine.
Oh, we
So,
can hear you again. Good.
Yeah. So breathing meditation means so you have focus on your breath. When the breath is coming in, be fully aware. When the breath is going out, be fully aware. If it is long, if it is short, if it is gross, if it is soft, let it be so. Just keep on observing the breath as it is.
Hello?
So, Then the Vipassana meditators, they are asked to practice the second step of Vipassana meditation. So in Vipassana, what you do is, so from top of the head, you will start, and you will keep on observing your sensations up to the tips of your left hand. So fingertips of your left hand, part by part, pitch by pitch, very patiently, keep on observing the sensations from top of your head to the fingertips of your hand. Right. So work very ardently. Now everyone, please keep your back straight. Please keep your neck straight. Then head straight. Please keep your right palm on your left palm.
Hello?
And now please close your eyes. And now please relax for a while. I'm going to pay our respect to the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. And after that, to show our gratitude, then after that, we will start our silent meditation practice. Everyone, please concentrate. Namo tase bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhase.
Amen.
Namo tase bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhase. Namo tase bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhase.
Maham.
Iti miso bhagava
Miso.
samma sambuddho Vidyacharana sampanno sugato lokamido Anuttaro purisa dhamma sarati Satta deva manusanam buddho bhagavati Swakato bhagavata dhammo Samdittiko akaliko Ehi passiko opanaiko Pacchatang veditammo Vinyohiti Supadipanno bhagavato savaka sangho Ujupatipanno bhagavato savaka sangho Nyaya patipanno bhagavato savaka sangho Sami panipanno bhagavato savaka sangho Yadinam chattari purisa yugani Atte purisa pungala Esa bhagavato savaka sangho Ahuneyo pahuneyo Nakineyo anjali karaniyo Anuttarang punyaketang lokasati Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Now everyone, with a very calm mind, with a very quiet mind, very alert, very attentive mind, balanced and equanimous mind, please start your meditation. First of all, if Vipassana meditator, if you don't feel the sensations, you can observe your breath for 1 or 2 minutes. When your mind is somewhat concentrated, then start practicing Vipassana meditation. The newcomers, they are asked to practice breathing meditation continuously during the silent meditation time. whatever the meditation practice that you are practicing currently, may your meditation practice be very, very successful. Very, very successful. Everyone, please start your meditation practice right now. Now, the new meditators, they can keep their eyes closed, but if you want, you can relax, you can ease your legs. Your students are asked to keep the posture the same. Please maintain the posture without changing it. Now we are going to practice loving kindness meditation in brief. First of all, let's share our loving kindness with ourselves. Spread loving kindness towards yourself. May I be well. May I be happy. May I be peaceful. Very peaceful. Please spread loving kindness towards yourself. Now let's spread our loving kindness towards our parents, then teachers, relatives, and friends. Just like me, may my mother, may my father, may my teachers, may my relatives and friends be well, be happy, be peaceful. May they be very peaceful. Spread loving kindness towards your parents, teachers, relatives, and friends. Just like me, the people who are in the middle, who are neutral, who are neither your friends or relatives, or neither your enemies. The neutral people, may they also be well, happy, and peaceful. May all the neutral people be well, happy, and peaceful. Very peaceful. Now let's spread our loving kindness towards our enemies. May our enemies also be well, be happy, be peaceful. May they be very peaceful. Now let's spread our loving kindness towards all the beings in the universe. Not only human beings, the other inhuman beings. Those who are visible, those who are not visible. Those who are powerful, those who are weak. Those who are big, those who are small. We think of all the beings in the whole universe. May all beings be well. May all beings be happy. May all beings be peaceful, very peaceful. Spread loving kindness towards all the beings in the world. Now everyone, very slowly and calmly, please open your eyes. Let your body to relax. Take a deep breath. Let that breath go. Now please join your palms together and please say 3 times Sadhu,
Sadhu, sadhu,
Sadhu. Dear young friends, so first of all, I would like to apologize for that inconvenience. So especially from online participants. So sometimes that kind of things happen. They also happen for the good. They may create a cause for us to forgive. One day, one day, Dalai Lama, the Tibetan Bhante, he was asked, an interviewer asked him, so do you hate Mao Zedong? Because Mao Zedong is the one who who chased him away from Tibet. So at that time, he said, no, I'm so thankful for him. Then the interviewer asked, why are you thankful for him? Because he is the best mission, best cause, best person that I can send my loving kindness to. So for being that cause, I am thankful. So such kind of times, please forgive such kind of people. So gradually, now you are realizing about your own body and mind. So when you are practicing Vipassana, you see various kinds of sensations, they come, they go. And at the very same time, various kinds of mentality, they also come and go. Sometimes, happy mentalities come, happy thoughts come, they go. When your mind is getting concentrated, you become happy. Then at once what happens? The mind starts to roam somewhere else. Then whenever you realize, you feel frustration, right? Then you suppress it, you come back and you start again, right? Again, so various kinds of mindsets, they come and go. And at the same time, various kinds of sensations, they come and go. This is what life is. So throughout the life, various kinds of physical sensations, various kinds of mental thoughts, they arise and pass, arise and pass away. We need to understand this phenomenon as the nature of no soul. There is no any eternal life. So whatever the nature that is created here as the being, you can't experience the same being twice. So always the previous nature, it passes away, giving birth to a new nature. And it has the characteristics of the past one, but this is not the same thing. And this one also changes in the next moment. And the nature which you experience in the next moment, it is not the very same one which is right now. So we have to understand that thoroughly. But let's say, so anger. So there is a moment that anger starts. Whenever you feed with the other thoughts, when you direct the other thoughts, if you give time and the other thoughts for that, it will grow to the, sometimes it can go through the furious nature, a furious state. And then what happens? But still, even though it comes to the utmost level, it doesn't stay forever. There is a time that you lose interest in it, and then gradually the thoughts, the thoughts come again and again, and in those thoughts, the level of anger, it goes lower and lower and lower, and finally that anger goes, right? Happiness is the same. So when you think about something, whenever something happens, we can create happiness inside. So whenever you give more and more thoughts for that, happiness grows, right? But it also comes to a level that it comes to a breaking point too. Finally, what happens? That happiness also goes down and down and down, and it also goes. So this is the nature of everything. So sensations, you feel the same, right? So sometimes in same kind of area, you observe that there was stiffness, hardness. When you observe the very place for the second time, you experience that hardness has already gone, and now what you have is maybe heat, maybe coldness, maybe light. That kind of a sensation is powerful at that very level. So this is later on you will see. For now, you only observe and understand the gross truths. But later on, if you are fortunate, if your practice allows you, that means the more you sharpen the sensibility, the balance of your mind, right? Then there'll be a point where you will feel vibrations everywhere. And at such times you will see how fast this body rises and passes. So So in a very in a in an unimaginable speed, you will see the sensations, those vibrations, they rise and pass away, just like a river's flow, right? So for that nature, we cannot say this is I, this is mine, right? That is the way how nature flows, and this is how we are, right? So always, whenever we feel negative emotions, we have to let them go. Those negative emotions. So since you you observe it in a way that can arise negative emotions arise, negative thoughts arise. But whenever you understand and you remind yourself that this is impermanent, sooner it will be, right? So that's how you need to understand and practice throughout your day-to-day life. And this is the way how you can come out of your negativities, how you can lower the energy of your negativity, right? So practice like that. And as I promised, today I'm going to teach you about the fourth noble truth. So I told you about the first noble truth, and I told you about the second noble truth. And by through those two descriptions, we understood what is suffering and what is the cause of suffering, right? So, the cause of suffering is craving. And then last week we learned the third noble truth. That what is the third noble truth? When we let go of our craving, then what will happen? That is the way how we can come out of this suffering. And today we are going to learn in brief. In brief, later on I give the long description. So in brief, we are going to learn the fourth noble truth, the path to come out of all the suffering. So how to practice and come out of all the suffering. So human beings. So we have suffered. All the beings, they have suffered. But what we always do is, instead of understanding that craving is the cause, if you don't understand the craving is the cause, we run away from place to place. So to get rid of that suffering. So if this place is not feel good, then you go to another place, right? So if you don't like, let's say you don't like San Jose, you think Los Angeles is better. So then you run, let's suppose you run to Los Angeles. Then after some time you'll, whatever the difficulties that you face, they are bound to come in Los Angeles too. Then you run away from Los Angeles to another state. Over there too, you will feel comfortable for some time. Then what will happen? Same problems will arise. You will run to another place. So, but if you understand the causes of your suffering, then wherever you are, it doesn't matter what is the place. So you are bound to be at peace and happiness and contentment. So the mind is the most important thing. If you don't understand this nature, if you don't understand this, that the craving is the cause of suffering, then you will do things like this to get rid of suffering, but you won't come out of the real cause of your suffering, right? Then even though you do have the knowledge that if we come out of craving, suffering will end. So that also doesn't serve the purpose. So you should practice gradually to come out of it, right? So let's say you have a burning charcoal on your hand. And you know that it's burning and it's very painful. But if you until you throw it away, you are bound to burn. You are bound to suffer. Just like that. So you have a burning charcoal inside you. What is that? The craving. Until you tame it and finally you eradicate it, you are not going to come out of your own suffering. So we have to come out of the suffering. And there are two ways. So there are two ways to understand and then come out of suffering. Number one is Anumana Jnana. Anumana Jnana means assumption. So the knowledge that we gain by assumption. By listening to these kinds of descriptions, so describe about the suffering and the cause of suffering and the solution to suffering. So by that way, we understood, oh, there is a universal suffering and we have to come out of it. But until, as I mentioned, you don't practice and gain the pratyaksha, experiential knowledge, experiential wisdom, you are not yet done with the purpose, right? So there are three ways that you have to practice to come out of all this suffering, right? Number one, sila. Number two, samadhi. Number three, panya. Sila means practicing. Sila means moral quality. Practicing morality. Then samadhi means concentration. Panya means wisdom. All these three things should be practiced and they cooperate with each other so they cooperate each other to eradicate our craving and to attain. It is the one. Those are the ones which clear the path, right? Which make the path. So to attain the final bliss of Nibbana, the real peace and real happiness. So everything starts with wisdom. Wisdom has two parts. Number one, samma ditti. Samma ditti means right way. So if we don't understand really the nature of things, the phenomenon of things, then you don't have the right view. So you will have the right view when you understand the nature of things as they really are. Whenever we start to understand that everything is impermanent, you have the right view. Then after that, if you have the understanding about the suffering, then you have the right view. And whenever you realize, when you observe your body from top to bottom and bottom to top, whenever you realize that you bodily you are changing and mentally you are changing, there is no eternal soul to say I, my, or mine, my soul. Then you gain, you understand another reality which is inside this world, which is in the world, right? Then what happens? You by that way you develop the right way, right understanding about the things. That is the starting point. Then because of the right view, right understanding about things, what happens is you develop right concepts. Whenever you understand that things are changing, then there is nothing that we can actually call as I, my, or mine. Then what happens? You develop three kinds of right concepts. Number one, you develop the concept. You develop the concept deep, so determination, deep concept inside. What is that? I want to come out of these negativities that I have artificially created inside me because of my ignorance. What ignorance? Ignorance about this nature. Then that is number one, first concept. Second concept that you develop is, whatever it happens, I won't get angry. Whatever it happens, I won't get angry. So I won't develop aversion inside me. Third concept that you develop is, whatever it happens, I am not going to harm anybody. Whatever it happens, I am not going to harm anyone. So by actions, by words, or by thoughts. So these are the three concepts because of right understanding that you develop inside you. Then because of this right concept, you start to practice another three moral qualities with it. Number one, you determine that you start to practice Samma Vacha, right speech. You think, you determine yourself, right? After this understanding, after developing the right concept, you think, right, since today, starting from this moment, I am not going to harm anyone with my words. I'm not going to tell lies. I'm not going to practice separative speech. Separative speech means the speech that divides two people, right? Two close people. I won't practice the words which are abusive. I'm not going to talk unnecessary stuff like gossips, right? But you determine like that, and you determine inside, I will only talk the words which are true. I will only talk the words that can unite people. I will only talk the words which are nice to hear and which are calming the other people. And I will only talk the words which are good for the others, which are useful for the others, which when they hear that they have a lesson to learn, right? Those are the ones that I will talk. Then after that, that person develops. So develops another determination. Whatever the action that I will do, those actions will be wholesome and peaceful. That person determines not to kill or harm anyone. And that person determines not to steal. That person determines not to practice adultery, not to practice sexual misconduct. And then that person determines to practice actions with compassion, loving kindness, and pity. Right? I'll read these things in detail, how these things happen in the upcoming weeks. And then another determination that person develops inside is Samma Aji, right living. So as a lay person, as a monk, so they need to have food, right, and other stuff to live, to survive. To obtain them, that person determines, I won't do wrong kinds of occupation to obtain them. I'm not going to kill animals and sell their flesh. I'm not going to sell drugs. I'm not going to sell human beings as slaves, right? I'm not going to sell poison, such kind of, and weapons, such kind of thing. And then that person determines, I will only do a peaceful, useful occupation. Then after that, because of this combination, because of right wisdom, because of these moral qualities, this person gains the ability to develop concentration deeply too. First of all, this person develops a concentration. It is it is fourfold. So we call them Samma Vayam, right? Different. this person determines whatever the negative actions that I was doing, anymore I am not going to do them. Whatever the negative actions that I have not yet started, I am not going to start them. Whatever the positive actions that I was doing, I will continue. Whatever the positive actions that I have not yet started, I will start. Right? So that person develops these 4 determinations with it, these 4 efforts with it. So then after that, that person develops, that person's mindset comes to a level that person can develop the mindful, right mindfulness. So throughout the day, because of all these reasons, that person develops an ability to be mindful. So this person starts to develop mindfulness. Each and every moment throughout the day, this person is aware, fully aware about the things that person does, the things that the words that person talks, the things that person thinks, right? So the thoughts that person thinks. So then the ground is clear for that person to develop right concentration. So whenever that person sits, that the mind subsides, the mind thinks faster. Right now, whenever you start the meditation, mind start to roam, right? Whenever that disturbance happens, what happened? The mind started to roam. Mind is not peaceful. So you feel so much frustrated. You feel anger towards that person. That's what happens. So it should not happen if you practice the 8 Noble Path. Then the mind becomes fully concentrated. And the ground is right for you to develop right concentration. Then first, gradually, such kind of people, such kind of noble, wise people, they try to develop their mind, their concentration to the first level of concentration. Then second level of concentration, third level of concentration, fourth level of concentration. Then there are another 4 things, but for that, you have to dedicate your whole life. I don't think you will go there. But somehow, at least if you gain some concentration and some kind of mindful life with peace and happiness, that's enough. Gradually, you have to, that it doesn't mean you should stop. Gradually, you should move forward. But at least at the beginning, if you develop up to that level, that's wonderful. So practice ardently. So Sila, Samadhi, Panya. So that means morality, concentration, and wisdom. They are just like an old oven, ancient ovens. So ancient ovens, they are not like the ovens that we have nowadays, these electric ones. So those ovens, so they had 3 stones. So ancient ovens, they had 3 stones to bear the pot, right? Bear the pot. So whatever you boil, whatever you cook, so you put, there are spaces, 3 spaces in between around that ancient oven. So that's where you insert the wood, the firewood, and with the help of those 3 stones, you keep the pot on the top of that and you cook. Just like that, you have a cooking too. So you have to have the taste of Nibbana, you have to have, to hold the pot of Nibbana. So you have to have these 3 stones. So just like in the ancient oven. So if you don't have any of them, you will fall. So make sure you have all, you maintain and you develop all these 3 stones. You keep all these three stones with you, right? The stone of morality, the stone of concentration, the stone of wisdom. So practice ardently the Eight Noble Path, and I will describe them later on. Practice it gradually and eradicating all the negativities, developing all the positivities. May all of you attain real peace, real happiness, Nibbana. That is the conclusion. Now everyone please think. Together, all of us gathered here and practiced this noble meditation technique and accumulated a lot of positive energy. We share this positive energy with, first of all, with all the sick people in the world. May they gain this positive energy. May all of them gain their good health back. May they be able to live their lives with comfort. We share this positive energy among all of us. By the power of this positive energy, may we be able to practice this noble Dhamma path with understanding, continuously, with determination. And finally, may all of us be able to attain real peace, real happiness, Nibbana, developing all kinds of positivities within. With those thoughts, everyone, please join your palms together and concentrate for the conclusion blessing. Together. Abhivadana senisse nichang vada pachai Chattaro dhamma vadanti ayuvanno sukhang balang ayurarogya sampatti sagga sampatti nivate ato nibbana sampatti iminati samijjato. May all of you be well. May all of you be happy. May all of you be very peaceful. Good night to everyone. See you in the next week. Until then, may all the good things happen to you. Sukhi. Sukhi. Sadhu. 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 Right. Mr. Howard, right.
Thank you,
Mr.
Bhante.
Howard, good night.
Thank you, Bhante.
Right. Right. Good night, Mr. Jaime.
Bhante, thank you.
Good night. So Uso, good night.
Thank you, Bhante. Good night.
Good night. Elvi, good night. Mrs. Lees, good night. Right. Good night, Miss Pragati and Rahul.
Good night.
Thank you,
Good
Bhante.
night, Bhante.
Good night. Good night. Me.
Thank you.